Man, my feet hurt. I've been walking this 30-mile road for 3 days now, and I'm still not at the next town. I have all this loot, rations, body parts on my back. Now my knees feel like jello, and my exhaustion level is increasing. What if I told you there's an easy way to alleviate these problems? And it all starts with this giant lizard thing. I'm Wes, and today I'm going to tell you about a couple unique monsters that you should be using as mounts in your D&D campaign. Seriously, as cool as horses and mules are, let's give them a pass on today's video. Often that they are cheap and easily available and requiring few resources, and they're kind of overall great for travel. But I'm here for the shit that makes me go, ooh, and ooh, hey. What in the world is a warg? It's a large monstrosity that derives satisfaction from preying on weaker creatures. These freaky dog piranha looking things are going to be raised by goblins and hobgoblins and have the ability to communicate with them through speaking goblin or possibly common. They often warg out problems by completely turning on their riders if they feel dicked over. These wargs aren't going to be the smartest of blokes, but for early level riders, they can offer a massive advantage. Wargs are strong with a base strength of stat of 16, which will come in handy for the inevitable battle against another beastie, while offering decent dexterity and constitution as well. And when their bites do land, whew, they have the added ability of making their victims succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Oh, and did I mention dark vision? Your meaty ATV has infrared vision, baby. This isn't the mount I would take little Shelly to daycare on, unless I wanted to clear out the place with foul goblin cussing a wet dog. You can find this guy in Volvo's Guide to Monsters. And from wet dogs, let's hop on over to the Horde. If you've ever rolled a troll in World of Warcraft, you may have hopped on the back of a raptor. Even in a deep fantasy setting, there are room for dinosaurs. There's a good chance that your homebrew planet never got hit with an asteroid, so theoretically, these dinos could be squatting in your swamps. Volvo's outlines a handful of fun dinos you can play with, but the one you want to be riding is a trustworthy old velociraptor, is what I was going to say until I had my perception of dino size shattered. Did you know these things only get to the size of a small turkey? In D&D, they work in packs and can be a great threat in large numbers. Unfortunately, that means that they won't work well as a mount. So its cousin Dinosius is going to take its place. This large feathery raptor isn't well suited to be a pack animal, but one that instills fear when riding into battle. The largest of specimen can be 10 feet long, but it's been proposed that this youngling Dinosius could even fly. Its claws were made for grasping and disemboweling, perfectly suitable for combat. And this beast translates well to D&D. It has no official entry point in Volvos, but over on dndwiki.io, we can find a stat block that feels really well balanced and ready to implement. From dry in the dirt to high in the sky, I bring you Rock. The Rock is a bird of prey. Think falcons scaled up by 10. They will drop foes from mountaintops and not look at the explosion of guts below. These guys are the epitome of cool, fierce creatures. Historically, giants were able to tame and mount rocks. Depending on the size of your rock, you might be able to smell what he's cooking. But actually, the right rock will be able to transport your whole party vast distances, fast, as its fly speed is 150 feet per combat turn. It's got a magical attack, nice, but no magical moves. This is, of course, ripe for homebrew. I would recommend adorning your rock with some ice. I'm talking enchanted jewelry, necklaces, or riding gear. Pimp that sucker out if you want to have the top tier rock across the land, and don't you? Don't let this motherfucker land on your arm though. Its talons are going to be literally the size of your gnome healer. Heal that sucker up. What do players in my session and Frogger have in common? They all have taken a ride on my lilypad. Seriously, this next item I'm going to tell you about feels like it was truly introduced to me for the first time playing Frogger on my Game Boy Advance. If we look at the official Wizards of the Coast release, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, we find a truly awesome item. The Bobbing Lilypad is an ATM all-terrain mount. It crawls on land with its tendrils and propels itself through water, and can also fly via the super twist maybe. But it does all that at a 20 feet per second travel speed if you're traveling light, at about 300 pounds or so. Otherwise, its speed is halved per double the weight you add. It's the best idea for everyone to grab their own lilypad, otherwise you might find yourself bobbing right out to sea without enough rations. First to get sunburn / madness wins. This, in my opinion, is best implemented as a temporary travel feature, as a way to get across a swampy, spooky location. It's not fast, but it's reliable and leaves the party possibly vulnerable. So, what do you get when you mix a buffalo, a dinosaur, a warthog, and a hippopotamus? The most disgusting 6-foot-tall pack animal you can think of. The Forgotten Realms wiki calls it a Catabolipus. And seriously, look at this thing. It's depicted in several different manners, all of them like ass, but in all seriousness, with some love and compassion, this beast will tolerate your adventure. It won't meet you with the same enthusiasm as a horse or a large dog would, but more like a cat's timid acknowledgement of your existence. Don't slouch on this beast's ability to defend your caravan either. It has several physical defenses, one being its mace-like tail, and who could forget ugliest beast I could find also has a gaze that will leave you feeling guilty for thinking of that, or just leave you utterly neutralized, as it can cast Death Ray on a target within 30 feet of it. The target must pass a DC 16 con saving throw or take a whopping 36 average necrotic damage, and that's a lot of damage. But this is your chance to punish foes that dare attack your ugly precious, because if they fail by 5 or more, your damage is doubled. Your mount is one of your best friends. It's hard to find one that fits right, especially when you're tired of horses and mules. But today, I hope Rolling Deep was able to open up your eyes to a couple possibilities for your next main ride. If you're like, yeah, but my DM would never use these because they're just too cool, just shoot them this video and say, I want this. Thanks for tuning in to Rolling Deep. Check out our Instagram, Twitter, and try to catch us live on Reddit, Twitch, or here on YouTube. Have a good session, everybody, and keep on rolling.